Hi guys, it's Miriam and welcome to Miriam's Manor. So you guys, I have been back from vacation about a week or so. I shot this footage when I first got home of my gardens because there's some good and there's some bad. So I wanted to give you a quick tour so you can see how everything is doing in my vegetable garden as well as my new flower bed that I planted about 6 weeks ago. So I wanted to give you guys an update on that. But be prepared for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let me go ahead and show you guys. You guys, I am just getting home from vacation and I am so bummed out because look at what I have come home to. Let me start over here on this side. So as you can see, I cut this right before I left. This entire plant has grown over on the side, which has given the bunnies another opportunity to hop in here, and I found another burrow while we've been gone. So we've got some stuff caving in here, but the big one is right here. And this is the worst part about it all. Look at what I've come home to. I don't know what happened to my banana pepper plant, if they just ate through the whole root system and it destroyed the plant. But you guys, every single leaf on my banana pepper plant is gone. And also, when I got back, I faced this right. This, like whatever burrowed in here, which I think it's still the rabbits, this was all the way over there on that side. So this particular plant here at the root was not getting any water for 2 weeks in the Arizona desert, which is just very detrimental to a plant. So I am so hurt about this because I harvested at least, 20 to 30 peppers a week off of this plant. The other tragedy is, look at the infestation of these aphids. Let me see if I can bring this into view. Oh, Jesus. There are a ton of ants there. Look at this. They're like clustered everywhere, even on top of the leaves. So I don't even want to know what this looks like underneath. And they are spreading to my tomatoes. So I am going to pull this entire plant out of the ground and treat this plant, because it looks like, so far anyway, it's only on this lower branch. Once you move kind of upwards, you can see there aren't any bugs. So I'm just gonna prune this one off, spray this in here, and then hope for the best. So I actually shot this footage right before I left to go on vacation. My son decided to come out and help me trim back this Sicilian cherry tomato plant. Now this plant has grown completely out of control and it actually has spilled over onto the ground. So I wanted to get this out before I left to go on vacation, because not only did I not want rabbits using this as a way to climb into my garden bed, I also noticed that there were some aphids that were beginning to spread from the zucchini plant to this tomato plant. So I wanted to just take this completely out, because this is the time of year where the flowers really aren't in production as much anyway. So we got to work and took out this entire plant before we left for vacation. Okay, so coming back to real time, this tomato plant, as you can see on the left here, is completely shot. And I know that it was a risk pruning this back this hard in the middle of summer here, but I was hopeful if I left a little bit of the leaf canopy that it would be okay. So this side has done fantastic. And as you can see, there's actually a ton of blooms on this cherry tomato plant. So I'm just going to completely take out the side that did not make it and leave this side in. But here's the more exciting part about this all is this plant has completely naturalized itself in this space. Look at all of these volunteers. I just cannot believe how many of these have offered themselves up like smack dab in the middle of summer. So this is a sweet pea plant that is actually volunteered up as well. And I've never planted sweet peas in this bed. So this one here is a little mystery, but maybe the birds dropping the seeds, I don't know. But I'm just going to let all of these little baby tomato plants grow up, see which ones actually survive the heat of the summer, and then thin out the rest of the plants that may be little stragglers. And whatever does make it from there, I'll just pull up and give away to some friends and family if all the plants are really healthy. So that is it for this bed. Okay, so I also wanted to give you guys an update of how this flower bed is doing as well. Now, as you can see, I still have my T-posts up because I still do keep this whole area shaded during the hottest part of the day. But so far, for taking such a risk and planting things in the beginning of June, which is incredibly hot here in Arizona, when I planted this bed, it was already over 100 degrees. These plants have done phenomenally well. So do you guys remember when I showed you this Supertunia Vista? This one was the one that looked like it was on its way out. I'll pop a picture up on the screen so you guys can see it. It looked terrible. And so far, it's just making such a beautiful comeback. I mean, look at these blooms. And there are blooms now everywhere on it, and it has began to spread even. The Supertunia Vista Bordeaux, which is what this one is, and this one is definitely doing a lot better. I am just getting back from vacation again, so I need to check my watering system for this particular one because this one actually looks a little bit smaller than it did when I left. And the blooms are definitely more dried out on them, but they still do have fresh blooms on them. So that's good news. And the leaves are still really green, and there's still a lot of like baby leaves like right in here that are coming in. So the salvia that I planted all throughout here, which is what this is, and there's a drift over here, and then there's also a drift over there. I did deadhead all of this salvia right before I left for vacation because the blooms had already spent. So what I did was just I deadheaded it right where the stalk is, right here. As a matter of fact, you can see one here that I deadheaded, that little guy there. But this one is already flushing back new blooms, and you can see on this one buds coming in. So although there seems to have been a few ones that are suffering, like this one, it still does have some green leaves on it, but it's struggling a little bit. For the most part, the salvia is doing okay. I do have one that is spent here, and then there's also that one in the far back that's a little bit spent. What I really want to talk about are these canna lilies. I was so concerned about this plant when I left for vacation. Look at how much these have grown, you guys. These have only been in the ground about 5 weeks at this point. They were half this size when I planted it. They did not even touch like the white part of where the tile starts there. and they are already, one of the leaves is almost touching the top of the fire pit. I just can't even believe how much growth these have put on in such a short period of time. I'm so super excited about it. One of the things that is definitely struggling are these cordyline reds. So you can see the interior leaves are coming in like they're supposed to, the new growth. But the initial growth on this, you can see, is crunchy, if you can hear that. And it's also changed from green to yellow. But I'm kind of hopeful because look at all the new growth that's coming in on it. It's actually that deep burgundy color that it's supposed to be. So I'm hoping this one rebounds. The other cordyline that I have over here, same thing. Like, it struggled through the transplant, the leaves turned green. But when you get into the interior of the plant, it's definitely more burgundy where the new growth is coming. So I hope it's going to end up being okay. I did lose this one completely. This was a cordyline, and as you can see, it just didn't make it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull that baby up right now and dispose of this. And I'm gonna go to the hardware store maybe in the morning to see what I can find to put in its place. But you guys, this is what I'm so excited about, this baby right here. I was so excited to grow this coleus. And just to remind you, this is a broad street coleus. These leaves are gorgeous with this lime green scalloped edge and like the deep eggplant purple. Now, this did suffer transplant shock when I first put it in the ground, as well as the leaves got scorched before I covered it. But since I have been covering it, look at all of the new growth that has happened on this thing that are the right color for this plant. I mean, the entire plant is coming back, and it has also gotten bigger and is beginning to spread out a little bit. So this was a huge risk to plant this bed this time of year. In the middle of summer in Arizona, we get like almost zero cloud cover in our summer months. So this bed is almost fully exposed to the heat until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And even with that, everything is still overall doing very well. So I could not be more happy to report the status of this particular flower bed. Like I said, I'm going to pop something in there for that. I'm thinking about just getting some vincas as well and running them throughout these Supertunia vistas and just letting them grow together, because these I was expected to spread a lot faster by now, and I'm thinking maybe it's just because of our extreme heat that they're not doing and spreading as much as they generally would have. So I want to have this kind of filled in a little bit more with all flowers. Like, all of this space here was supposed to be the Supertunia Vista, as well as this space here and then this space over here. So I'm hoping that by just putting some vincas in here, that'll really solve the problem and thicken this bed up a little bit. So this was definitely a lesson learned for me, you guys. I will never leave my garden unattended like that for that length of time. I was gone for 2 full weeks and didn't have anyone checking on my garden. Next time, I will definitely ask my mom or a neighbor to at least come in and check on some things for me. But I'm gonna just count my wins and not think so heavily on the losses, because my plan was to revamp my whole watering system in my garden anyway come this fall. So a lot of that stuff was going to be taken out anyway, because it's almost out of bloom production this time of year. It's so hot that the flowers don't really bloom on like the zucchini, the squash, and those type of plants, just because of our extreme heat. So I don't feel like I'm at a total loss at this point, aside from my pepper plant that definitely would have still produced. But you win some, you lose some, especially summer gardening. So that is all I have for you guys today. If you haven't done so already, please give me a big thumbs up on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also become a member by clicking on the Join tab in the description box of this video and then clicking on the Join tab from there. If you guys have any questions for me, leave me a line in the description box and I will get back with you. And until I see you again, stay safe, God bless you, and may your life and your garden produce good fruit. Bye.